The following audio may contain graphic descriptions of violence or audio clips of real-life distressing moments. Listener discretion is advised. Welcome to Obscura, where we shine a light on the dark.
Welcome, listener. I'm glad you're here. One of the things we try not to cover on Obscura is mass shooters, specifically those with large body counts. The reason for that? Copycat shootings. One of my theories on the decline of prolific serial killers is that those looking for media exposure now lean towards committing a mass shooting. It seems to be the easiest route for the infamy they desire. But does media coverage truly affect the numbers of mass shootings each year? Well, according to the National Center for Health Research, the number of mass shootings in the U.S. has increased exponentially since the early 2000s. On average, a mass shooting now occurs every 12.5 days. Before 2000, there were about 3 mass shootings per year. The year 2000 is the key here. 1 year after the now infamous Columbine shootings, we've seen an exponential growth in number of mass shootings in the United States. So, while I'm not interested in covering mass shootings, I am interested in covering someone who skated dangerously close to the edge of that dark abyss, didn't like what he saw, and turned away. But for this person, it was still too late. Those he loved had to suffer the consequence at his hand before he could gain this new terrible knowledge. Today on Obscura, we're covering Trey Eric Sessler, because, back in 2012, Mr. Anime was planning something. Little is known about Trey Sessler's formative years. Born in August 1989, Trey would go on to graduate from Waller High School. Trey stands an imposing 6'5". He's got brown shaggy hair and a usually dour, sullen expression. While information about Trey's early years is lacking, what is of interest is that the entirety of his YouTube channel remains almost untouched. Almost, because a video has been flagged and removed for reasons now unknown, and the comment sections under each video is the exact dumpster fire you'd expect on YouTube. At the start of Trey's YouTube channel, he seems happy enough, like a kid who has his whole life ahead of him. I'm going to play some audio from various early videos to give you the idea.
Oh, no. This is a gift from my grandma last Christmas. What of it? Nothing by it. Just a gift. What's wrong with that?
And I noticed these sunglasses right here. These are 5K shades. And I went over the sales records of Sunglass Hut, and these were bought by the exact same.
Rumor has it was the Grand Master.
That Grand Master's gone too far.
Yes. But even if he has gone too far, he is the Grand Master of these lands, and no one can stop him or his powerful magic.
I shall.
In these early videos, Trey seems to have an interest in a number of hobbies. There are short films, trailers, fight sequences, and, yes, anime reviews. Not to jump ahead too far, but he also looks healthier than in later videos. It's difficult to describe, but in these early videos, he seems decades younger than what amounts to just a few years. There's a natural glow that surrounds him. It's a glow of someone who is playing an active role in doing what he loves. But, because it can't go ignored, these videos feature staggering amounts of dark foreshadowing. Guns litter the videos. In other videos, he instructs the viewers on how to create blood packets to be used for creating their own violent shorts.
Okay, let's get this started. Today I'm going to show you how to make a blood packet to tape to the inside of the actor. to simulate a bullet hit. Start with this little Ziploc bag here. Make a cut. About 1 inch long. Not too wide there. That way, you have... Okay, I'm out here. I got my undershirt on. I have my cardboard and my blood pack taped to it. Now all you need to do is set the firecracker inside and light it. And it's easy. It really is. So basically just light your match. Set your shirt down. Ow. It hurts so bad. That's basically it. The more powerful the firecracker you have, obviously, the better it's going to be, but that pretty much sums it up how to make a good bullet hit.
In a number of early videos, Trey himself dies. In one, by lightning. In another, by gunfire. You get the idea. When not creating reviews, his early shorts seem to showcase a growing obsession with death and violence. Ambushes, sword fights, gun battles, it's all there. In videos like these, I would find them amusing if it were not for the obvious dark irony. In one clip, Trey parodies one of my favorite films, Videodrome. Another interesting thing of note is that these early videos chronicle Trey's birthdays. Trey excitedly lists off his presents. There's genuine joy in his eyes. There's something morbidly fascinating about casually watching the birthdays of someone who would go on to throw everything away.
Hi everybody, Mr. Anime here. And while today is indeed August and Mr. Anime Season 3 is coming out this month, today is a day of rest and a day of celebration. Because today, me, Mr. Anime / Trey, turns 20 years old. That's right, August 3rd, it's my birthday. And just like most people, well, I'd hope all people, it only comes once a year. So, now, since I just basically gave the big news away, why not show what I've gotten so far? Well, first I got one of these.
Hi everybody, Mr. Anime here. And while I'll be getting to my next review in a moment, which will be out this week, I'd like to inform you all, and I'm sure you already know by the video title, that I'll be celebrating my 21st birthday tomorrow on August 3rd. Now, my YouTube channel will claim that I'm 22. It will also claim that I was born January 1st, 1989. However, these are my fault because I didn't fill this information out correctly. So I'm not actually 22. I'm actually 20 at this time that I'm making the video. And as soon as 12 o'clock rolls over, I'll be officially 21. Not that my face is going to suddenly metamorphose overnight and change to some old man, which would be a good movie premise. But anyway, I will be celebrating a birthday tomorrow, so if anyone is sharing a birthday with me, happy birthday to you!
Slowly, whether from video view differences or friends going their own way, Trey seems to get the message and shift mostly to Mr. Anime content. It's strange watching these old reviews. I'll be upfront, and I'll admit I watched some of Trey Susser's reviews before his downfall. Compared to today, Trey was a part of a vastly smaller pool of anime reviewers on YouTube than there are currently. Because of this, production at the time didn't need to be as specialized. While today's reviews are expertly crafted and are cutting scenes from the anime being reviewed and using graphic design once only seen on cable television, no, to paint a picture, Mr. Anime reviews feature a static camera angle, low-quality audio, and usually ran no longer than 8 minutes.
But Runic Theater I feel a little differently about, because Runic Theater has something that none of them did. Runic Theater actually has some dignity to it. I can actually watch Runic Theater and enjoy it. Like I said before, it's a 12-episode series, and each episode we meet different characters. Mystery and comedy are the two biggest occurring themes in Runic Theater. Most of the one episodes that tell different stories are either it's either comical or it's either mysterious / kind of scary. Rumiko doesn't really go all the way. She doesn't like to go all the way with her horror. Like, she'll go to a certain point, and when it starts to get to a point to where it's too extreme, too violent or too gritty or too dark, she'll just cut it off, and she'll cut to something that's pleasant and happy.
But what's going through Trey Sessler's mind as the years passed? Admittedly, with benefit of hindsight, there seems to be a clear progression in which you can watch Trey's gradual descent into madness. On his now removed Facebook page, Trey posted about a family pet rabbit that went missing. No one in the household was able to explain the disappearance. After this, Trey couldn't control himself, and eventually, other pets would go missing and die at his hands as well. When the family pets weren't enough, he graduated to livestock. And when the thrill of executing cows in the middle of the night grew boring, Trey would fire his guns into random buildings. In a strange video, Trey Sessler is seen with a facial wound and claims that he has been in an accident. Trey tells his viewers that he's posting the video for insurance purposes and can't discuss the accident for legal reasons.
Hi everybody, Mr. Anime here, and I just want to confirm what the title has stated. I have been involved in an accident because of legal and insurance purposes. I cannot disclose what the accident was, but I will not be able to appear on camera for a little while until I become, well, I'm on camera right now, but I don't exactly look good on camera right now, if you know what I mean. So, I'm okay. Not that injured, just a little bit. But I'm still going to be reviewing the Japanese.
I first took interests in the Mr. Anime murders 5 to 6 years ago. Had I known that I'd eventually become the host and one of the writers behind a true crime podcast, I'd have documented my findings then. Well, that's then, and this is now, so unfortunately, what I'm going to talk about now is currently wiped from the internet. To the point, when this accident video was originally released, there was a large number of drama surrounding the video. In fact, some people who knew Trey in real life took to internet forums to claim that they knew the real reason behind the accident. The main theme surrounding the claims is that Trey had been killing animals. Knowing what we now know, I believe these claims to be legitimate. So, in my opinion, I believe the reason behind Trey's face wounds were either the result of an animal defending itself or someone catching Trey in the act and striking him in the face. If it were just an animal scratching up his face, I think maybe Trey created the video as a way to cover up the incident from his family and explain the wounds. If it were someone striking him after being caught, killing someone's pet or livestock, I think it was Trey proving to someone that he was willing to pursue legal action if they took it further. Whatever the case, I personally find this video to mark a shift in Trey's demeanor. In the videos that follow, Trey's physical appearance starts to look more fatigued than ever. He seems to talk with a slur in his speech. So much so that he even creates a video in an attempt to jokingly dismiss comments that had mentioned the slur. It seems commenters began to ask Trey if he was on medication or if he had taken up binge drinking.
Hi, I'm Mr. Anime. I don't really have a show for you. I don't even know why I'm here. Like, my executive producer dragged me away from the bar I was chilling at. Like, he dragged me here to my set, and he was like, Mr. Anime, you look so fucked up and drunk. Why don't you do a video about you being fucked up and drunk? And I was like, I don't want to do that, you know? Like, I don't get drunk, and I'm not down for doing videos during the middle of the week that have nothing to do with anime reviews. And rumor has it that these people with these weird masks in Inuyasha have been chasing me around. And yeah, Inuyasha's been calling me during my reviews. He lives next door to me if nobody knew that. And I'm going to whoop his ass, and it's going to come up soon. Now, I don't know what this little thing is in front of me, and I don't know what it's recording,
I guess it's a camera, and I hope that the YouTube fans don't see this, because I'm during my off days, and my producer dragged me over here. So keep reporting, or keep attending Mr. Anime Reviews, and I'll see you next time. Did I just do a review? What the hell am I doing here? Are you guys exposing me for my drunkenness?
Trey Sessler's propensity towards binge drinking is now not a matter for debate. He would later confirm his alcohol abuse in police interrogation. It's not long after his drinking dismissal video that Trey starts reintroducing guns and violence back into his videos. In the newest videos featuring these traits, there is an unsettling stoicism in them. Compared to his earliest videos that featured a kid playing with his friends and making shorts, these videos feature a man who looks dead behind the eyes, displaying his dark fantasies for the whole world to see. In a video titled 9mm Rifle Test, Trey Sessler seems visibly and audibly drunk. In the video, he's under a bridge and firing at a blue couch. His speech is slurred and his movement sluggish.
Oh, how you doing, everyone? It's Mr. Anime. Or you can call me Trey. You can call me the guy that does the video game reviews, or you can call me the guy that does all the gun stuff now. What I have here today to show you is a High Point. Now, for those of you that are familiar with High Point, you might have a very low opinion of them, or you might have a high opinion of them. I think they're pretty decent, especially for the price. I have here a very classic 995. It shoots 9mm rounds. 10-round magazine comes standard with it. And you can also buy an optional 15-round magazine. But you know, I like really big clips, so I wish it came with like a 50. So today, there's where I'm going to be shooting from. There's my 995 in the dirt, which is where you should never put any of your guns, of course. And I'm going to be shooting at these bottles across this little creek here. I'm not sure how far away it is. Maybe like 80 feet, 100 feet. Hopefully I should be able to make these shots, so we'll see. Okay, so there's this old couch always under this bridge. Don't know who put it here. Just a really old couch. That's all it is. Basically, what I'm going to do is, and this is pretty childish and ridiculous, is blow up the couch to the best of my 9mm abilities. So let's see what we can do. Oh, whoa. I wouldn't want to be sitting on that couch right now.
In a video that followed, Trey shows off his pet ferret that he would go on to kill. Commenters on YouTube mentioned that Trey's father had mentioned the ferret in school.
Alright, so I've been taking my anime review break. I have finished the final act, and I have got my, opinion on that. This is Mr. Anime, by the way. How you guys been doing? I got this ferret, though. My official anime mascot was going to be a little kitten, but I thought this would be a little bit more unique. It does have like a cat tail anyway, see? It's like a weird cat tail. These things are really strange. Like, I've thought about getting them before, but they're just weird looking. I mean, look at this thing. What the hell is this, I mean, yeah, I know it's a ferret, but it's just, it's pretty adorable. I gotta, ow. Okay, that's not adorable. Bit my nose and you wetted my nose down with your wet nose. Ugh. Anyway, yeah, just stay tuned to the channel. I'll still be doing stuff. I don't know when I'm gonna do the final act review. It's coming around. Mr. Anime's still here. I'm not going anywhere. But for now, just look at my ferret and let me know what you think of it.
There's something more sinister for me when it comes to the ferret clip when comparing it to even the guns and violence videos. And I think you see Trey donning his full-blown mask. To his audience, it would seem that he truly cares for the pet. But with our hindsight, we see Trey's manipulation on full display, in all its glory. Not to get grim, but I don't think it would have affected him to rip the ferret apart with his bare hands right after filming the video. And that leads to one of the takeaways I've had after hundreds of hours of researching for this show. I'm going to stray from objectivity, so bear with me. When I had psychotherapist Jasek Eric Ross on the podcast, it was one of the few questions I had planned for. This is my opinion, but I feel some people just can't be saved. Rehabilitation is just not an option for these types of people. They should be treated like the predators they are, and avoided at all costs by the average person, lest they become prey. With that in mind, there is an important thing to note here about Trey Eric Sessler. During the years leading up to the murders, Trey obsessed over mass shootings. He not only obsessed, but he researched them as well, Columbine being one of his favorites. And this isn't uncommon behavior among potential mass shooters. For many, the act itself becomes a sort of game where human lives are the points and they only get one shot at it. So, knowing they only have one chance, these predators spend years fantasizing and researching before committing the final act. To quote clinical psychologist and professor of psychology Jordan Peterson, "It's also a psychological epidemic. You know, these people keep track of each other, and there's a competitive element to it." And another one of the great, dark ironies behind this case, Trey himself would weigh in on the mass shooting epidemic.
Hey everybody, Season 2 here, and today I'm ranting on something a little bit, right? Yes, I'm ranting on something a little bit anime unrelated. I'm ranting on all the shootings that have been happening. Pittsburgh, New York, Alabama, California. It's like every day I get online and click open Yahoo or whatever I open and let the publicity fill my mind with bad thoughts about the place I live. So, I don't know what's going on. You know, they had an article that were like, well, the economy's gone bad. Everyone's losing their job and getting mad and shooting everybody. Yeah, I guess that makes sense since a lot of the shooters lately have recently lost their job. But I'm a firearms owner myself, but it is a little bit disturbing to know that you could be a victim in something like this at these times. All the people that were victims, you think it won't happen to me, but sometimes it does. But seriously, every day I open Yahoo, I'm like, well, time to see what today's shooting is, and hey, there's another one. So I don't know when it's gonna stop. I think it's why, but what can I say? So with that, just making everyone aware. If no one has heard any about it, you can look it up. But very frequently in the news. I'm sure it does happen. I live close to Houston, and you know, it's Houston. It's a huge city. There's shootings every day, but the mass shootings lately, I don't know. But yes, thank you for watching, and I will see you later.
In a video that, in my opinion, marks another downshift in behavior, Trey announces he's suffering from pneumothorax.
Hi everybody, it's Trey here, aka Mr. Anime, and I guess I'm just going to cut right to the chase. No, I'm not quitting YouTube, if that's what some of you guys are thinking. But I've had a little bit of shortness of breath lately and a little bit of back pain and stuff. And I haven't been sleeping too well. My eyes are a little swollen. That's why I'm wearing these sunshades. And it seems like I've got the diagnosis of pneumothorax. Basically, I'm leaking air from my lungs, and my lungs are running the possibility of collapsing. So I'm going to be out of action for a little bit. The anime review I uploaded today, thankfully, was pre-recorded about 4 days ago, and I have another one that's also pre-recorded and ready to go. So I still have one more review that's already made that I'll probably post later. I mean, I don't know what to say. It's just one of those things where you think like it, you know, couldn't happen to you, sort of deal. It is pretty frightening because I don't really know what's going to happen. And I mean, that's pretty much all I have to say, guys. You know, I've been really pushing my channel lately since I came back. I've been really trying to
extend my reach in the YouTube community and make the anime community as good as it can be. And now this nonsense has come up. So, I'm hoping that this is just going to be a minor deal and that I'm not leaking that much air out of my lungs. But it could be a big deal. But I don't want to raise a red flag and be negative about it. So, if you're religious, I would appreciate it if you prayed for me. And keep watching my channel. Keep subscribing. Keep doing what you're doing. This is a 240p video because the audio is really the only important thing. So I just wanted to let you guys know what was going on. It's not an act, it's 100% happening, and I'm pretty disturbed about it. So thanks for watching, and I hope to see you soon.
Shortly after, he updates his viewers, letting them know it's only a minor case of pneumothorax and it wouldn't likely require treatment. In a video that follows, where he's upset about the new, at the time, YouTube copyright system, Trey once again appears to be drunk, slurring his words. His hand gestures are wild. Even darker, Trey brandishes a gun at one point in the video. This segment of the video, where he brandishes the gun, would be used for countless news sources.
Hi, Mr. Anime here, and if you saw the title of the video, you know what this is all about. And for anyone that's ever been suspended or warned or anything like that by YouTube's copyright policies or YouTube's violation policies, you're going to want to hear this for sure. And as far as Inuyasha goes, my next door neighbor, for those of you that don't know, he's my next door neighbor, Inuyasha, the animated loser character, which I'm not afraid of, by the way. There's no reason to be afraid of. I was just kidding you guys. That was just some of my stuff shifting over there in the studio. I guarantee you I wasn't scared. So, I've been talking to quite a few people, including the Lava Buster, which I've recently plugged, about YouTube's copyright policies and how it's run reviewers off the internet, off YouTube. Some of them off the internet, yeah, they just packed up and said, hell yeah, YouTube's really the only credible video site that has all the people right now. So they were just like, where to go, where to go, where to go. I mean, you have like Vimeo and Blip, but they just don't have the...
But out of all the numerous clips used here to document Mr. Anime's gradual descent into madness, it was his final 3 YouTube videos that are, for me, the most telling. The third to last video features a now infamous title. Not long before the murders, the title is simply, Mr. Anime is planning something. This title would be used for numerous websites and news outlets, documenting the tragedies that followed.
Well, hi everybody, it's Mr. Anime here, and I'm recording on my MacBook's web camera, and my MacBook's from like 4 years ago, so the web camera's not that great, so you'll have to bear with me. This is just an update video to let you guys know that I'm going to reward myself with probably a 2 or 3 week break coming up here from YouTube videos, anime reviews in particular. I might do some blog stuff. I want to thank you guys a lot for sticking with me and watching the channel. I got more subscribers than ever. I have more views than ever, and everything is going really good. So I'll probably be putting out some blog videos, like I said, and I hope you enjoy those blog videos. I hope you definitely enjoy those. And the Google AdSense thing has been going great, and I really appreciate you guys clicking on my page. Well, I won't say it, but you guys know what to do. And I'll see you with some blog videos. Thanks for watching my channel.
The video itself is simple enough. What's worth noting is that Trey seems a little perkier than in previous videos. His words unslurred, his eyes less empty. For me, this video now seems like the calm before the storm. The next video, the second to last, is especially revealing. Trey Sessler seems to have come across the term NEET after watching the popular anime titled Welcome to the NHK. The term NEET stands for Not in Education, Employment, or Training, and seems to have struck a chord with Trey.
So, after watching Welcome to the NHK and learning about the NEET, NEETs, which are people that are not in employment, education, or training, well, they used to be called Status Zero about 20 years ago, but they finally changed them to NEETs, not in employment, education, or training. Technically, since I do a little Googling, I don't totally consider myself a NEET. But this word is somewhat of an insult over in Japan. Not so much. It's not like, you go up to someone and call them a faggot. NEETs are looked upon as, the lower range of society. Like, think about it. They're not employed. They have no education prospects. They're not doing any training. So they're just sitting around really doing a bunch of nothing. A lot of people are playing video games. People like myself are wasting time on YouTube. So, my main question to you guys is, and girls, NEETs. Are they out of control? Are you a NEET? Would you be afraid to consider yourself a NEET? Because Welcome to the NHK, this is the kind of thing that I wanted to retread on a little bit. In Welcome to the NHK, the main character always stayed in his room. He had trash all over the place. And he was a NEET. But I don't know where the line is between NEET and fucking hobo. And as for me, a NEET? No. I like to get out and do a little funk sometimes. Mr. Anime can shake it. But all jokes aside, there is a hidden truth behind these people that are not in employment, training, or education. And there's people that are aspiring artists. There's people that are aspiring reviewers. Like myself, I would absolutely love to make a living off reviewing anime. I know there's a lot of you guys out there that would love to make a living off drawing and sketching, because I know there's a lot of you that have sketched well because you've sent me some of your sketches. So what I'm trying to get at is, I don't think that NEETs are losers. I think some of them may be, fucked up crackhead, cooking crack in the kitchen, shooting it straight into your fucking arm, like fucked up people. But I think there's a large majority of NEETs that is out there. They're working from home like I am. They're trying to make it. They're trying to do something with the talent that they want to do. So you know what?
It's clear that Trey is highly intoxicated in this video. His words are more slurred than ever. His hyper-defensiveness likely caused by the fact that Trey had been unemployed for most of his adult life. This was when it was far more difficult to make money off of having a YouTube channel. The cruel irony is that some of his contemporaries, Gigguk for example, would go on to make $5,000 a month alone from Patreon donations. This obviously would have been enough to continue to fund Trey's passion. I can't help but wonder if this would have taken him down a different path. Trey would later tell investigators that he was a self-described loner during the year leading up to the murders. One has to wonder if this isolation only expedited his downfall. On his since-removed Facebook page, Trey was at first very active with friends and family. Friends obviously played a large role in the production of his short films. Trey even reviewed some anime with friends. In the last year leading up to the murders, however, his social media activity ground to a halt. In his final YouTube video, before his dark path would reach the ultimate conclusion, Trey makes an announcement that should have been a happy announcement, titled, Mr. Anime's New Job. It seemed that Trey would finally become a part of the employed masses. The video seems somewhat rushed, and, like his other videos, has a bizarre twist. In the center of the short video, Mr. Anime is talking with a clone of himself. The clone has an unmistakable drunk act going that I think may have been a commentary on his previous videos. Perhaps Trey was suggesting that he would be leaving the booze behind now that he was getting his act together. What makes the video jarring is that the skit cuts off abruptly, which gives the video a somewhat surreal feeling. I have to wonder if more dialogue was filmed for the video, but Trey didn't think it came out well, so he cut it short.
Well, hey everybody, what's going on? It's Mr. Anime here.
And well, I have some pretty good news. It's not, well, I have some kind of bad news, but it is good news. The good news is that I now have found a full-time job in a department that I'm interested in, which is film. I'm still going to be doing the Google thing though, and I'm still going to be doing videos. So keep supporting Mr. Anime. I'll still be doing anime reviews, but probably not as many because this job will be full-time. But thanks to all of y'all, I've been able to be recognized by some people, and I'm going to be doing some good stuff.
Mr. Anime Season 2, we've had a lot of history together. But I'm going to be gone for some work, and I might need you to help me. What do you say? Come on. Think about it. You, sir. Sir. Cool.
So please support me. Keep watching Mr. Anime Reviews. Thanks to everyone, all you guys, even though I think I'm the only one here. And of course, click well, you know what to do. Thanks a lot, guys. I appreciate it. Over the 4 or 5 years, I appreciate it a lot.
It was morning, and Trey Sessler had been binge drinking. Perhaps it was the stress from the recent job that made him finally snap and make an attempt at acting out his dark fantasies. Only one person will ever know. Whatever the reason, on March 19th, 2012, Trey made the decision that he would finally join the ranks of the mass shooters he had so idolized over the years. But Trey had a conundrum. He knew he couldn't bear the shame of his family knowing of his acts. So, Trey chose to take them out of the picture. In his own words, Trey had this to say. "The thing about my family is I would protect them with my livelihood. At the same time, if anyone was going to hurt them, it was going to be me. They were the first immediate human targets in my sight. If I was going to go out and do anything, they would have to go." It's this duality that allowed the events that followed. Armed with a pistol and assault rifle, Trey went to the family garage, where he called out to his mother, Rhonda. When she entered, Trey fired 4 rounds into her chest and stomach. After the shots hit her, Rhonda immediately collapses to the floor. Though shaken and upset, Trey would later tell investigators that this moment would only seal his father and brother's fate. He couldn't go to his father and explain that he had murdered Mom. After executing his mother, Trey tracked down and shot his brother, Mark. He stopped for a moment to look at his brother laying in a pool of his own blood. "Okay, I guess I got him," Trey thought to himself, and pressed on. The noise of the gunshots woke Trey's father, Lawton. Confused by the loud shots, Lawton began shouting, obviously in a half-awake stupor. Trey acts quickly. He runs into his father's room and fires 2 shots into him. It seemed, though, that not all of his family had perished from the initial gunshots. So, methodically, Trey went through the family home and fired mercy shots into each family member's heads. Incapable of dealing with his actions, Trey became enraged. Furniture was smashed, walls were kicked and punched through, windows shattered, and the family pets were murdered one by one. Lawton Ray Sessler Jr. was born on August 15, 1953. He was a school teacher, loved by his students. Rhonda Weiss Sessler was born on August 10, 1954. She and Lawton had been married for 34 years. Mark Allen Sessler was born on September 5, 1985. He was only 26 years old when he passed. The family was buried in Waller Cemetery in Waller, Texas. Before we move on, I'd like to play audio from a video I found. In it, a young girl, who was Lawton Ray Sessler's student, mourns the passing of her teacher. The description reads, "Mr. Anime murdered my teacher, Mr. Sessler. I miss you so much, and every day, I'm gonna make a wish that you come back. I warn you that this clip is heartbreaking and tragic. If you can't handle audio of a clearly upset and grieving school-age child, I suggest skipping past this part. And honestly, I don't blame you.
As you all know about Mr. Sessler and Trey Sessler killing his mom, his dad, and his older brother. Well, his father was actually my teacher, and that's him. And he was actually my teacher, and he was about him was he was awesome. He was just everything. He was my favorite teacher I could ever even have, and I wouldn't even ask for a better one. But he's still in my heart, and he's playing for the Dallas Stars and singing the Angels in Heaven right now. Honestly, I never cried this hard. I didn't know I would be crying this hard over Mr. Sessler. And the last words he said to me was, your grades are dropping. And the last words he said to my mom was that I was an amazing and bright student. I don't know why the heck anybody would ever want to shoot Mr. Sessler of all people. I remember when my parents told me I was sitting in my outside, and they said, I need to talk to you after I got home from my friend's house. And they told me, they sat me down and said, have y'all seen Mr. Sessler at all this week? And I said no, and he said, and my parents said, well, now he's in heaven. And I couldn't take it. I really, really love Mr. Sessler. He was the best person, honestly. He was the person I looked up to a lot. And I just can't believe I'm never going to see him. God bless his family and everybody that knew him, and Robinson, the 5th grade teachers and staff and students. God bless everybody for knowing him and at least treating him with the respect he needed. May 19th, 2012 was the worst day of my life, and the day I cried the hardest. Goodbye, Mr. Sessler, and I miss you and I love you forever. And no one ever is going to take your place and be the best science teacher in the world. And everybody in the world is just happy that you actually knew us. Thank you, Mr. Sessler, for everything you've done for us. Goodbye, and I love you.
Continuing his rampage, on a door, Trey wrote, I will never forgive myself. I don't know why I did this. God help me. On another part of the home, he wrote, I love my mama and dad and brother. On a cabinet reads, I will never forgive my state of mind. Never. No one will forgive me. Not even me. Hours later, perhaps after he sobered up some, Trey sat in the parking lot of a high school, less than a block away from his home. In the vehicle with him sat a semi-automatic rifle. In front of Trey sat what was the intended, ultimate goal. His aim? To shoot and kill at least 70 people. One part of the plan was to fire on students in the bleachers during Waller High School's homecoming football game. In his recorded confession, Trey told investigators, I was thinking, well, I could creep across the field and open up on the homestands and probably cause more mayhem with people trying to get away. There's my opportunity, Trey thought to himself. But something was wrong. It seemed that Trey was suffering from a conscience. Maybe he had empathy after all. He had gazed long into the abyss, and it gazed back. But Trey didn't like what he saw. In his confession, Trey would later explain that things had become too real after murdering his family. What really fascinates me about this case is that Trey stopped. Trey Sessler was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole or appeal. I mentioned earlier that one of my feelings is that perhaps for many of these shooters, there is no rehabilitating them, that there is no stopping their predatory nature. But for me, in this story, there is an ounce of levity. In the end, Trey felt remorse. I personally don't believe that he deserves forgiveness, but I do feel that that shows that there's hope, that perhaps these people can be reached, that even at the edge of the blackest abyss, there is a ray of light. And that's this week's show. I'm interested in feedback for this episode. What's your opinion on mass shooter prevention? Can these shooters be reached? Or, on average, have they reached a point of no return? I want to thank you for being patient between seasons. While only 1 week, I know in this fast-paced world, that could be a long time to wait for content. As far as this season goes, we have a lot of morbidly fascinating content in store for you. From the real-world audio clip content many clamor for, to the strictly narrative-focused episodes that paints a story, we've got all bases covered. Before we go, a huge thank you to those that shared the podcast. The more ears we have, the more we can expand the show. Thank you again for listening, and take care.
Obscura, a true crime podcast, is released every Wednesday. Subscribe if you'd like to continue hearing quality content.